30 clubs in 15 days takes us to Glendale, Arizona, the spring home of the Chicago White Sox, a team that's been in many of the headlines this offseason for what could be an upcoming blockbuster trade featuring their ace. We'll talk much more about Dylan Cease as we go forward here on 30 Clubs in 15 Days. It's Greg Amsinger welcoming Alex Avila to our spring training party. This is a club that finished fourth last year in the AL Central. Only the Royals were worse. They lost 101 games. They were clearly one of the most disappointing teams in all of baseball because they do have a lot of talent, Alex. Yeah. So you tell me, as a former White Sox, what went wrong for this club last year?
Well, a lot of things, went wrong. When we looked at them, over the course of the season, like they had a lot of talent, they had tons of injuries. Defense didn't play very well. Obviously, Dylan Cease, had some struggles as well as far as command. Same thing with a few guys in their rotation.
What's so unique about this camp is you can feel the heavy storyline that's permeating here, and that is whether or not Dylan Cease will be the opening day starter for the White Sox, because there are teams that are interested in trading for the White Sox ace. I guess the question is, he's fresh off a year with an ERA well over 4. His ERA more than doubled from his previous season where he was a Cy Young contender. Which Dylan Cease would the White Sox be parting ways with? That's a tough call for GM Chris Getz.
No, it is, and I think that's where you see, like, he not only has I'm sure a high asking price for a guy of his talent, because whatever team Dylan goes to instantly changes the outlook of that rotation. But for Dylan, it's like, okay, well, going into this season, they did a lot of things as far as bringing in Martín Maldonado, Max Stassi to be able to, help him along, in each one of his starts to make sure he's at the best that he can be.
It's got to be distracting, though. If you're getting ready for opening day.
No, you're human. So, not only for Chris Getz, as far as answering those questions all the time, but for Dylan as well. I mean, it's out there. You know it. You read it. Your family members are calling you, like trying to get what information you have. Has anything been said? So it's definitely something you're aware of. I mean, no doubt. But you do your best as a professional to kind of block it out and focus on what you got to do.
I had a chance to catch up with Dylan Cease, and I had to start the interview off with the question everyone wants to know. Is it a distraction right now as you're getting ready for opening day to hear your names connected to all of these trade talks? This is what he had to say.
Not really. At the end of the day, I just want to perform well, and you're not going to be able to do that without focusing on your craft. So that's always been my main focus, even this offseason, with all the speculation going. I really just kind of focused on what I was doing.
So what was the stat you were looking at as you tried to rectify what happened, the difference between 2022 and 2023? Was it the chase? Was it the velocity? Was it the shape of your slider? What was the main focus for you?
It wasn't necessarily a stat. It was kind of just a question of why am I not executing more consistently, and why am I not creating more of what I want to create? And that was something. Unfortunately, it wasn't an instant answer, and something that I wish I figured out, halfway into last year, and I could have kind of rectified it for the second half. But I feel like I came up with a pretty good process and way to fix it and improve, and I feel great this spring. So, sometimes that's rare in the game. So the fact I'm sitting here feeling good is definitely great.
I read some quotes that you had here in spring that you actually like the team's chances this year. Is there a realistic possibility that the White Sox get off to a great start and you're still wearing the White Sox uniform for the entire year?
Yeah, I don't think that's outside the realm of possibilities. I just feel like the team we have right now is going to be very fundamentally sound. I think that we have a lot of high ceiling pitching potential. It's obviously, at the end of the day, it's all just on paper right now. You don't really know how it looks until games get started, but I've been really impressed with what I've seen so far.
I got to tell you, I've seen catchers impact pitchers before. You guys bring in a guy like Martín Maldonado, a proven winner, one of the great defensive catchers of his era. He actually showed us the art of catching sliders, and specifically a slider as great as yours. Do you mind checking that out?
I'd love to.
All right, let's take a look.
All right, so first and foremost, I would say with a slider, you got to understand what kind of slider your pitcher have. If you talk about Dylan Cease slider, you got to understand what kind of slider he have, when he's going to throw you a good one, when he's for strikeout pitch. So that being said, I would say you got to set up. I have 3 balls over there, so you anticipate where the slider is going to be, right? If you see the first ball on my left, that's a slider that's gonna be for strike. Gonna be short, sharp slider breaking hard down, and then you're gonna have the borderline pitch where the ball in the middle. So as a catcher, you gotta set up where you can cover all three sliders, right? Let's see, this one for strike, this one is a borderline where strike to ball, and then the third one, it is, if it's in the air, you try to make that slider look as a strike for the umpire, right? So, and then you gotta see the height when the pitch is throwing, so that's now you're anticipating where you gotta go down to block it, or you gotta be able to, stick it for the umpire. So, pretty much it is understanding what the pitcher, how he throws the slider. That's one. Two, it is you gotta put your body in a good spot to be able to catch that slider if it's a strike, or if it's down just a little bit lower, make it look like a strike. So, understanding what kind of slider your pitcher have, I think that's the most important thing.
Martín Maldonado could teach a class on that. That was amazing to watch. Do you think someone of that pedigree, that great defensive mind that he has, can impact what you do on the mound?
Yeah, it would be impossible for it not to. Whether it's pitch selection, framing, catching, throwing guys out. He's just having somebody with that experience is invaluable. He's a World Series champion. He's caught Hall of Famers. He's done it all. So, I'm definitely privileged to be able to spend a lot of time with him this year.